times when we report on police doing bad things, it's usually police brutality or police using excessive force. But what about police officers that do pervy things when they're on duty? Well, Sean Harrington is no exception to that. He is a CHP officer in California, and apparently he got caught sending himself risque photos of a woman that he stopped during a DUI. Now, this is a story that we did earlier this month, but now there's an update to this story. So let me tell you the background information, and then I'll tell you the newest developments, which are absolutely disastrous. So one day, Sean Harrington pulls over a woman who had a blood alcohol level of 3 times the legal limit, okay? Now, while he pulls her over, he asks for her phone, which I don't understand why he needed to do that. He then asks for her password, and she obliges, she gives it to him. And then he proceeds to go through her phone, and he sees a few risque photos, including one where she's wearing a bikini. Well, he sends himself that photo along with others.
He sends it to his own phone.
He sent it to his own phone, and then he deleted the text messages from her phone so she would never find out. Well, little did he know that she actually linked her iPhone to her iPad and also to the cloud, which meant that she figured out that her photos were sent to a really weird phone number. So she investigated it herself, and then she found out that, hey, this officer sent these pictures to himself, right? Now, her DUI charge got dismissed as a result of this, but now in court documents, Sean Harrington is alleging that he's not an isolated case. Apparently, this is something that is true of many police officers within California. They're part of this game where they're exchanging risque photos of women that they're pulling over. Okay, so let me give you some more details. The California Highway Patrol officer accused of stealing nude photos from a DUI suspect's phone told investigators that he and his fellow officers have been trading such images for years in a practice that stretches from its Los Angeles office to his own Dublin station. So when he sent the pictures of the woman to his colleagues, okay, apparently this is the exchange that occurred. One person wrote to him, "No fucking nudes," Officer Robert Hazelwood allegedly replied. Officer Dion Simons received the bikini photo too. "Nice," he allegedly replied. "Ha ha ha," Harrington told him. "Just rerun a favor down the road, buddy."
Well, the good news is that, you know, this came to light, and I'm sure these guys are going to be punished severely with like some time off with pay.
Yeah.
Right. Probably get some time off with pay, maybe even a promotion, because that's how we penalize the police these days. It says at the last line of the story, it says, similar isolated incidents have popped up across the nation. None of these cases found resulted in criminal charges for the accused cops.
Yeah.
No shit. You mean the cops investigated the other cops and they found them to be doing this criminal shit and decided not to press charges? That is such a shockaroonie.
But on the other hand, nothing says brotherhood like going, look, it's not just me, it's literally everyone I know.
Yeah.
So I've said this before on the show. I know cops, right? I've said this before. Like my whole life I've been surrounded by cops, a lot of cops in my family, and I've said this before, but every cop I know is a one-half turn of the screw away from being a criminal, and most of them already are. Well, this guy just admits they're all felons, because that's a felony when you take someone's private pictures and you text them for personal reasons like you did. He has the power of the state to stop you, search you, go through your private shit, and then he does what he did. That's called a felony. He says we all do it. They're all criminals. They're all felons.
And the thing that scares me the most is the fact that this has happened for such a long time. He says that it's happened for years. It continues to happen. There are so many police officers that are involved in this. And you're right, Jimmy, cases like this have occurred in other states. But one of the reasons why they're never charged criminally for this is because oftentimes the district attorney or other state officials will do the investigation. But they have an incentive to look out for the cops because a lot of times they need the cops to testify in a lot of these cases, right? So it's like, I don't know, let's brush this under the rug. What you really need is a federal investigation in cases like this, because this is beyond an abuse of power. I mean, we already have a big enough issue with police brutality, using excessive force, beating people up, killing people for things as stupid as selling untaxed cigarettes, which is what happened in New York, right? But now, all of a sudden, it's okay for cops to also go through your phone, find risque photos, send it to themselves, and then perv out like that? I mean, their behavior is...
Like, that's commonplace. That doesn't stick out like a sore thumb, like, oh, whoopsie daisy, we caught this guy.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, the
And
guy.
he admitted it. He said it's all of us.
And the guy who wrote this story is pretty, I like the way he writes, because he said, well, immediately that guy he texted the picture to, that other cop, he immediately reported it to his senior officer, and they arrested that cop and charged him with a felony. Oh, no, of course that's not what he did. He went the opposite way. Hey, send me some nude pictures. So, you know, this whole thing about, it's just part of just a few bad apples. No, this is a culture of criminals who put on a badge.